Look at my. See, I did a little bit of preparation, dude.
Man, but see, bro, that's what I'm saying. You're so self-motivated.
Dude, listen, I'm just trying to keep up.
You don't have a manager saying, "Hey, are your questions ready? Do you have this together?" You just did it. It's dope, bro.
Yeah?
No, I think I'm just like, I'm inspired, man. It's
Dude,
sick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's get it.
we have a very special guest today. Sitting to my right, your left, is one of the best saxophone players in the world. I'm laughing because I don't know. We just have a banter that's really funny, and I enjoy it. Dude, I literally couldn't even. I tried to write down the things that you've accomplished, and it's just so many things. Okay, you've seen him with Christian Scott, Christian McBride, John Baptiste, Tom Misch. Rihanna somehow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's a wild. I got a story on that. Sure.
Mac Miller, I didn't know that either.
Bro, yes.
You are now a Grammy Award-winning producer. Yeah, you got certified,
it
baby.
Happened. It did happen.
Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Braxton Cook.
Damn.
How's it going, dude?
I'm good, man.
Let's go, man. One of my favorite musicians, honestly. I've told that to your face many times.
You,
now I'm just saying it on camera.
No, but the feeling is mutual, for real. You already know. It's my guy.
Thanks.
My guy. And this is round two. This is like
round
the second time
we're back again.
Come on, bro.
Dude, I wrote down some notes. There's so many cool things. First off, you have a single that just dropped called Zodiac, which is so dope.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man.
Can you talk about the lineup? Who's playing on that? Because those are some hitters.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so on drums, it's Curtis Noasad, incredible drummer.
I'm actually not familiar.
Bro, Curtis, you never met Kurt?
I have, no.
That's crazy. I feel like he knows your music. Like, that's wild. No, Kurt is amazing, bro. Like, we met in New York, but he's from like, was it Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada? You know what I mean? Like, homie of mine. But he went to Manhattan School of Music. I was at Juilliard. We met in New York, and then shortly thereafter, we just started like playing, bro, and making a lot of music. And Kurt is kind of like I want to say, I have like two chairs, I feel like, are two musicians that occupy, I should say, a chair in almost every seat in my band, like two drummers.
Right.
There's like sometimes the East Coast and West Coast got, cats, and then like,
I'm kind of similar.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes that's just like touring is just difficult. We'll get into that, like with just financially, but like some of it has kind of created a situation where like I have Pinson that plays in the drum chair sometimes. Jonathan Pinson's the man.
Paul Cornish was here 2 days ago. We talked about Pinson a lot.
Dude, he's so good. He's on the live version of Zodiac too. So that's just my point. Like we had to do a live session in LA, and it was like, well, Pinson's here, let's do it. Yeah. And there's love though, like between both cats, like Pinson and Curtis. So, but to speak to the record version, is Curtis Noasad on drums, Joshua Crumbley on bass. Who is like bi-coastal, so he ends up being on both. Like he has a spot in New York, right near where I used to live in Harlem, but I was also from here in LA. Let's see, Andrew Renfro on guitar. Dude, and then Mike King on the keys, who I'd never really recorded with, but I played with Mike a lot.
Yeah.
And Mike, he tours it, let me see, like probably Theo Croker is probably the band he tours in the most.
Dude, he's so killing, dude.
He just goes off, bro. He's so killing. Ridiculous. Like, truly a beast. He's one of them dudes up there with Sullivan. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's up there, bro. Mike is crazy.
Yeah.
He's really something. So I just hit Mike up the day of the session. So the session happened, bro. It was like we did Good Morning America that morning, June like 10th last summer.
Right.
And everyone was in New York already for the taping. We finished obviously super early in the morning. We're like all done at like 9 a.m. I was like, since everyone's here, flew everyone out, let's go like record. So Josh Pleater has a studio. He's the dude who mix and mastered and did live engineering.
Josh Pleater.
Josh is the man.
He's a bad boy.
He's a bad motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
So Josh mixed my last album as well, but he's really like a live studio engineer. Like that's his thing he loves. So he's got a studio. I know, a beast.
He's so
kind of does everything. I met him as a tour manager. I just
love him as a guy too. He's one of the best people.
He's the best, bro.
So sweet.
Such a good dude.
Yeah.
So he's got a studio at Lower East Side, Dimension 70. He's like, bro,
beautiful studio.
Let's book it out. We'll record that day, do 2 days, do the day of Good Morning America and the next day, and just like record some shit, get it going. Since the boys are in town, it's like, you're totally right. That's the best use of our time. And we're like fresh off of just playing. Like, let's do it. So we go in the studio. I had a demo of Zodiac. I said, guys, let's just play this. And it wasn't much. It was just the A section kind of, exactly, with the drum loop.
That's the most Brax
melody
ever. It's so nice.
Low key, bro. And I was like, that's all I had. That and some bell tones. And then we just kind of played around with it. It took us like 4 different takes to get to like some sort of arrangement. Because it was, so we kind of like kind of made that outro like all like together. It just kind of happened and developed. And we tried like switching the harmony because it's really 2 chords. It's pretty modal, but we tried switching it, you know what I mean, and trying different things. And eventually we came up with that version, and everybody just like smoked it.
Yeah.
And I hit Mike up, by the way, hit him up like last minute. I was like, bro, we're in the studio. Like, you want to pull up? So he shows up around like noon or something. Just sight reads it, just crushes it, you know? So I was like, great. Might be. No, you late,
dude,
bro.
I would never do this, but it is cartoons, dude.
Oh, shit. What's up?
Dude, I'm with Braxton doing the podcast right now.
What's up, Ben?
Dude, we're live. He says, what's up?
We're live.
Calling in.
Dude, can we?
What up, Ben?
Can we catch up in like an hour or two?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I might be on the flight by then, but hit me up after the podcast.
Oh, damn, you're in tonight. That's crazy. I guess, of course you are. Yeah. Wow. Shoot. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Dope. Travel safe, bro.
Yes, thank you, guys. I'll catch you after the podcast. Have a great one.
Thanks.
All right. See you, man.
All right, peace out.
So I would never do that, but he is a mutual friend.
He's like literally our guy.
So you hit up Mike King at the last second. Like, you said, like, dude, come to the studio like while you were there.
Yeah.
Which is
literally
crazy.
And I also hit up Matisse, so they both end up just being on the record. It was a very impromptu session. You know what I mean? Like most of my other records, I have sheet music, all this stuff laid out. This one was like, oh wow, here's a demo. Let's flesh it out. Let's figure it out. One of those super, super loose. All the vocal tunes I think were already produced before, like My Everything and some other songs that are going to come out soon. But that one was just like, bro, we freestyled it. It's crazy. But anyways, to your point, Zodiac out now.
Zodiac is out now. It's amazing. Braxton's amazing. The lineup is crazy. The live version is also crazy.
Bro.
But dude, isn't it interesting, just like you mentioned, like how loose it's in, it can be in the studio now. And like, you went to Juilliard, which I imagine, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I imagine is you don't really think of that as being the way you're going to make music.
Not at all.
When you're at that age.
We are locked, bro. We had been touring like most of 2023 in support of the album. So to some degree, we were kind of like connected on some telepathic kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But you're right. That's not how I envisioned it. It's like, as like years have progressed since I left Juilliard, it got more and more like lax. Less and less sheet music. You know what I mean? I used to have like parts written out, like play this guitar part, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's become a little more loose, and we all speak a similar language too. You know what I mean? That's what happens. I think as you develop a band, it's like
because like when you play with Christian Scott, I imagine that there weren't charts for that either.
No, bro. No, he was like pretty much against it. And I remember writing out charts. It was hilarious. I remember writing out West of the West because I was in school at the time. I was like, I could just write it out, especially if like there's a new bass player or someone else coming in and sitting in. Because there were a lot of times where Lawrence would be on tour with Joe Lovano and I'd be like, some more, you want to come sit in or whatever. So I would just be like, I don't mind writing a chart, bro. I could just write up a quick like G.I. Joe or whatever chart you need, So I remember doing that, and he was like, "Nah,
don't do that."
I brought it in. He was like, "Nah," like, and I think even him seeing what it looked like he would have charts of just the chords, but not the melodies.
Yeah. Because again, in music school, you have this certain, it's
totally, bro.
There's a lot of paper. There's just a lot of like charts and
a lot of paper, bro.
Why is there so much paper?
I don't know. It's such a waste of paper, bro.
I used to have so much paper around me all the time.
Right. For such an oral art form.
I don't have any.
It's crazy.
I don't have any. I don't know.
It's actually wild.
I used to be like on Sibelius and stuff.
Yes, bro.
I used Sibelius the most when I was in school.
The computer lab was just full of us just in line printing paper, and
yeah.
It was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even tell you the amount of times I'm just like, I've actually accidentally took somebody's orchestral arrangement because I was just rushing to get an assignment in, and I'm just like, oh, that's got to be mine. And I ran out and I'm like, oh snap, I took somebody's overture or whatever they were printing out,
Yeah.
It happens. But, and the music to, back to Christian, the music would evolve. There are times where he's like, I could write out this whole note that's let's say a whole note and half the next measure, 6 beats or something. And then he's like, nah, man, hold it to here. It would just keep changing. And then the next gig is actually to here because you're just, you know what I mean? So then I learned no, that ain't it. Like, it's one thing to have like a sketch of like what key is in and the harmony, to suggest the harmony. But at the end of the day, it's like, at least in that band, it was like living and breathing for the most part at that time, you know?
Yeah.
And then I kind of adopted that and let it just evolved. Yeah. If anything, I got more into like making the demo as close to how I wanted it and let people just listen to that, and then we like build off that.
That's the fastest way to learn anyways.
Right.
Just give people the demo.
Straight up. That's literally how it goes, bro. So yeah. And then I should note, not to get too far ahead.
No,
but I should note that Zodiac is gonna be, that's like the first single of the EP that we're dropping. We're gonna drop an EP called My Everything November 1st. Ooh. Bro, I can't wait.
Dude, hell yeah.
I can't wait to put this shit out. And the next single.
I'm sorry, how many tracks did you say?
So it's like 4 songs.
Beautiful.
Zodiac is the first one. The next one is called The Weekend, and then we'll drop the full EP like in November.
Dude, wow. Okay, looking forward to it, man. Anytime you drop stuff, it's always fire, always high quality, best musicianship in the game.
Damn.
You know, and did Josh also engineer these as well?
He did.
Dude, yeah. Josh Pleater. Bro. You guys.
Bro, the sound off the board
Josh
just that day, like,
Pleater
it was crazy.
Is such an amazing engineer.
He is.
That record, you're bringing us high quality with that, man.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, that lineup with that engineer, with that studio. I've been to that studio. That studio is
it's
gorgeous.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous
Where'd
studio.
You meet Josh?
I met Josh through cartoons.
But like, in what capacity? Because I met him as a tour manager, bro.
Yes, he was tour managing for Ben for cartoons.
Okay, yeah.
And then we did a live video at that studio with cartoons, and I was just playing piano.
All right, chilling.
I was playing Jake Sherman's part.
Yeah.
And but yeah, dude, I just like saw the studio, saw how Josh worked.
Yeah.
He just makes everyone feel so comfortable.
Bro.
He's just great. He's just so great.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Dude, can we talk some horn? Can we talk some?
Oh yeah, some sax shit. Yeah.
Because dude, sure. I saw something that you wrote on your Instagram, and I just loved it.
What'd I say?
You talked about tonal imagination, dude.
Oh yeah.
Tonal imagination is such a beautiful sounding term. I just love the words.
Yeah.
And what you said. So by the way, what I'm referencing here is that Braxton started a Patreon, which if you play horn, and even if you don't, you should check it out. Because again, one of the best living horn players in my opinion, and also
Thanks, man.
Some really great stuff on there. But dude, tonal imagination, the exercise that you suggested was think of the sound that you want and write down in words what it is. And so my question to you is, if you could write down in words what some of your favorite horn players, what their tones are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's certain records with even where I'm like, this is my favorite like bird tone or my favorite train tone or like early train. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. So it's like I can't you can't even describe somebody's sound and just like.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It evolves, it changes the recording quality and all that. But like,
what would be your favorite bird tones?
Bird with Strings is a really beautiful that really got his sounding like, bro. You listen to him on Just Friends.
Yeah.
When he goes, that shit was so beautiful. Yeah, you can hear that. Like, I don't know if it was a harder read that day, but it sounded like there's more air in his tone, you know, on that recording. Like Cannonball's tone, like in the early '60s, I really love. Like that Bossa Nova record with Sergio Mendes. There's just like a lot of live Cannonball for me. Versus like some people love the 1955 presenting Cannonball, early Cannonball, where he's like it's more classically. He sounds more like his vibrato sounds closer to like, you know, coming out of Hodges and coming out of that swing era. That's cool. I love it, and I appreciate the control. You know, on like A Foggy Day, for example, it's nice. But like tone wise, I love like once like the 60s came around and he's just like after like post Miles essentially.
Yeah, like
after
Sticks.
he got out of Florida. I mean,
that record's like
Sticks, bro. Like after he got out of Florida a little bit, I feel like, and traveled the world, seen some. It's like you can hear it. You can just hear the universality in it and like the soul and like just coming into his own. You know, the swag. Like it was a whole nother level.
Let's spark some excitement.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
I want to listen to Sticks because I just love because he's doing the what's the technique? What's it called where you hum while you play? Growling. Yeah, he's doing that. Dude, also Joe Zawinul. Are you kidding?
I'm saying exactly, bro. Yeah, like this era Cannonball, bro. church. Woo! Come on.
Who's on drums?
It's probably Louis Hayes.
Killing.
I feel like he had a pretty consistent squad. That's just a guess, though. I gotta double check on that.
And also just the audience on this recording is so great.
You know what's crazy? I gotta tell you something about this record. Oh, well, I'll tell you right now. Fuck it. So, bro, okay, no, I got the vinyl for this, and then like I read the liner notes. Bro, this isn't a live record. I thought that my whole life. I know.
What?
Yes, it sounds like it. It's interspliced. This says live at the club. That doesn't. Apparently, the club doesn't even. It's not even a real thing. No, they like interspliced audio.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like they like recorded it, people like clapping.
Yeah,
and stuff?
something like that. Yeah, in post.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, still it does not. Bro.
Bro, Nat doesn't get enough love. Cannonball. Whoa.
So pocket too.
Jesus. Bird.
This shit right here. Wait, did we do this last time?
No, maybe we did. It's insane though.
We end up talking about Cannonball every time.
I know, but it's important. It's
very
like
important.
because he's the GOAT, and I feel like you listen to live Cannonball, and it's like,
dude,
yeah, you.
What are we talking about?
I know. It's like still modern alto players, still like they're coming out of Cannonball, and even if they don't even realize it. Of course, Kenny and Ornette, but it's like when you listen to Cannonball live, where he's like reaching and like after he's obviously living in the same world Train's living, and he stood next to him, so it's like all this stuff is still coming out of his playing, and it's to me, it's like I never hear alto players wailing or whatever these days, and like it's still reminiscent of Cannonball, or maybe Kenny, but it's like by virtue of there's a tree, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Cannonball's the GOAT.
I'm getting fired up over here, dude. But
it's nuts. But back to Tonal Imagination. So I'm like, to get to like what you want to sound like. Yeah, I would listen to my favorite records and I'd be like, all right, I want an airy tone. I want a little bit of like that in the sound. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Or I want this kind of punch. Or I want like on the alto, I want that lower end.
Who's got punch?
Bro, Cannonball, like it's got like if you listen to him on like Jessica's birthday or something where he's like playing his harmonics. Dizzy's Business, like swing era kind of like stylistic things he would do on the alto. I know, it's crazy, but it's just like super swing era. Like this concept for the sextet is clearly coming out of the like condensed the big band arrangement. I think it's a Quincy Jones arrangement or something like that.
Totally.
But like
it's giving like Art Pepper, like
he's got that the sweet ass like the lines and stuff. But then like when he gets into his pocket, you know, where he's like doing some like you know that kind of stuff where he's playing false fingerings. Like that's like swing era like Lester Youngish kind of stuff. Like kind of stuff, and it's like. That also, I can just play real quick. Like that gives you more low end in your tone. You know what I'm saying?
Woo.
That swing era kind of like
Sound
stuff.
Great.
He does it all the time. But those like false fingerings just add more depth to your sound. So that's something else I would want. I'm like, how do you get more depth in your alto sound so it's not so up here, not so thin? And it's like some of it is like overtones, harmonics, and going between the two. And utilizing it in your lines, which Cannonball does, which Kenny does, which Coltrane obviously always does.
Yeah.
But it's like Yeah, because the idea is that this fingering for C is one. Right. It's just one finger, so it's like super thin. The air then escapes here. This is like where you get C or E flat concert, but C on alto, right?
Right.
And then low C is like closes the whole tube.
Oh,
right. So this is like I'm getting more vibration of the horn.
I never thought of that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So then it's like, all right, put down the low C, but like hear the first note, right? And then but I get the tone of the low C blended in with the middle C. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It's essentially like just getting a lower harmonic to beefing up this middle thin note.
And you don't use the octave key at that point.
Nah, no octave key. Like that's octave. No octave key.
And it's like slightly sharper.
It's slightly sharper, so you learn how to pitch it. But it's
wow.
You can use to make your sound fuller, bro.
Damn,
and it's fire.
Did you know I played a little saxophone in high school?
That's crazy. I can see it.
I played the Glazunov concerto, dude.
Wait, that's actually kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
not in its entirety. Everything until the very end.
That's actually crazy, bro.
No, I couldn't. I never got that good at it. I couldn't like improvise it was like a weird thing where I couldn't really. I just never developed my vocabulary on it.
I was like, I did some classical
liked
shit.
The saxophone, but I was more about the piano.
Dude, I would do solo and ensemble, classical repertoire, and the comments were always like, beautiful interpretation, but doing like either something alluding to the fact I was doing too much or too much ornamentation or like stick to the music or like you're adding it was crazy, and I would always get those kind of comments. So I was like, fuck that, man. I would play jazz then because I'm like,
yeah, I mean classical saxophone only.
They don't mess with that, but not even adding notes, just like my vibrato, like my tone, like those choices.
Well, yeah, dude, classical saxophone tone is. We probably shouldn't spend too much time on it, but it's it's not my fafavorite. It's not my favorite.
I don't think it's no.
But there's definitely some cool repertoire. It's just a small repertoire. But anyway, getting back to like those like alternate fingerings and Cannonball's tone having more punch and more low end.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I love that.
Gary Bart's got it.
Yeah. So you like to have a tone that's airy. You like to have some punch, some depth.
Right.
What else?
Altissimo is something I've always loved in great alto players and people that have extended the range of the horn past like it really goes to F or F sharp depending on how old or new your horn is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's now commonplace to play far beyond that, and it's a range that we call altissimo. And if done right, it just still should blend in with the rest of your horn and with the rest of your sound. And it's like I've always loved that. I hear that shit, bro.
You're great at that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I hear up there. So like, I like it, bro. Sometimes it sounds like a soprano or whatever, but like that's just what I hear. You know what I'm saying? So there are alto players that modern cats even. Alex Loray's a good example. He just lives upstairs. Who else lives upstairs, bro? Ben Van Gelder plays upstairs a lot.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Super extended range.
His tone is crazy.
Right? Yeah. Beautiful sound. Yeah. He's really, really dope. Big influence for sure. Just like because I was living in New York and it was like at that time, 2011, Ben was like one of those guys, bro. Yeah. We did the monk competition and I remember like, bro, I was like, he's probably gonna win this shit, right? But like then Godwin was there and I was like, oh man, but Godwin though. Godwin's one of them. Godwin's one of those guys. He's got it all to me.
Damn.
Godwin's got it all. Who else? Who's got like that upper register?
Does Patrick Bartley go up there that much?
Oh, dude, yeah, of course. Patrick Bartley.
Dude, he
could
murdering,
play,
bro.
He's insane. Talk about Cannonball inspired.
Bro.
But like to the next level.
I need to have him on if ever he comes to LA.
You do.
I really want to talk to him so bad.
Bro.
I love hearing him talk about music.
Bro, Patrick's been like that since he was like a kid.
Dude.
And it only gotten, more and more refined. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm like, bro, every idea sounds like, I don't know, just so clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a beautiful thing. He's dope. And very inspired, too. When he talked, he loves his music, man. Like, he's important, bro. Very important for the music, very important for the saxophone. And he's great. Like, always been great, bro. So very good example of altissimo. And then there are qualities too, like in your tonal imagination, where I think about like things you don't want to sound like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just as like important as what you do want to sound like. You know what I mean?
You got to be specific out
here.
Yeah,
where I'm just specific. Yeah, like, let's say I don't want to have a chirpy sound or whatever, you know what I mean, or chalky sound. I'm like, okay, what is it that's contributing to that? Is it the reed? Is it the setup? Is it the way I'm playing and things like that? They're like, I'll think about those qualities, or like a brightness maybe I don't like, you know, where I'm like, bro, I always tell you, like, bro, cut the highs and do this and the EQ, or I'll be like,
because you want to reflect the tone, how it sounds in real life, and you gotta, you know,
exactly.
Like, but that's because you recognize those sounds internally, so that when you hear it. You know?
And then when you then you have like a sense of how you want the horn to sound, how you want to sound, and your body will start to kind of like make those adjustments. I find, like, even when you get a super thin reed or a reed that's like, oh, this is brighter than yesterday, or the whatever, you know, you start to make those adjustments kind of automatically, where you're just like, all right, I'm getting this. I got to cut these frequencies because they don't sound how I want them to sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all that goes into it. But I think writing it down, visualizing it. Also, even I said on my Patreon that it's important to like to just sometimes find an image that depicts how you want your tone to be, you know? Mm-hmm. Like if you want a real dry sound, sometimes it's nice to envision what that might look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So look like...
It can literally be like Arctic tundra, bro, if you want a cold kind of like... barren kind of just even sound, no vibrato. Some people want that kind of thing. If you want like a real dewy, just like, dang, bro, your sound sounds like butter or whatever tone. You know what I'm saying?
Or like they said Paul Desmond was the dry martini.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Speaking of dry,
that helps. It just depends on how your brain works, you know? But I would do all those things to just figure out how to depict what it is you want to sound like, so you can hit that like consistently every time. You know what I mean?
Dude, yes.
Because then every time you pick up your horn, it's like, oh yeah, I can always hear you in a lineup of hundreds of people, because it's just like, bro, it's this thing.
Yeah, it's a combination of specificity, like sensory description that you're using. It's like, I think of course, your genetic, just like your makeup. You can't really control this like part of it. Your natural instrument that you're born with.
Exactly.
Your embouchure, your wind, like, you know.
All of that.
But, I think something I have told students in the past is like, if you're not detailed and if you're not specific, and those are two similar but distinct qualities, if you're not specific and detailed, you will not have a unique sound. Yeah. You cannot be unique without details. It doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
Like, how can you be...
I mean, you could be lucky one day, but how would you be consistently unique?
You need detail in your playing.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I love about how you talk about... You talk about the alto in a way that's more detailed, that's like expanding my concept of the instrument, which, by the way, is going to make me enjoy it more when I listen to it.
Oh, good. That's the hope, bro. Deep down, that is like my hope. Since I was younger, people were like, oh, you play that alto, man. I always like the tenor. Even my parents, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like under it all, there is a mission to like try and make the horn feel and sound good, because I think there is an association with the alto to like a student tone or a student kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's like, not in the as many, like there's certain instruments that just get a little more shine than others, and the tenor, especially in the jazz idiom, might have the most. I mean, like,
I think so.
Yeah,
it's like literally tenor and trumpet, and alto is like still in the sax family.
Obviously, but it's like Charlie Parker, and then
totally. But like my parents, like people will say, if you just go to a barbershop, sometimes even someone like, the high one, I don't know, like sometimes I like the tenor. It just sounds more. You know what I mean? People say that because it sounds more full, or it's closer maybe to the human voice range wise. I'm not sure, but like that's always been a thing I've heard since I was young, and I'm like, I've always wanted to kind of like go against that, or just make the horn sound more accessible tone wise, and whatever those frequencies are that are off putting, like I don't lean into those too much, or try not to. You know what I'm saying,
dude?
Even for myself, it's like I'm like, I want to make this shit like sound right.
Dude, that's another quality you have. It's like a problem-solving element of like, here are some of the limitations of the instrument. Here are some of the things that some people don't resonate with, and like trying to figure out like how you can play this in a new way to kind of like solve some of those like problems.
Bro, yeah.
Like if it's a low end issue, okay, well you have some like things where you can like hit some of those dynamics, and
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just super dope.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's super dope. Yeah, and also last time that one conversation I referenced earlier, where you were talking about, like, we were talking about Gary Bartz. That was one of the things you said about Gary Bartz's playing, which is like you said like a lot of people, when they think of the '60s and saxophone, you think of tenor players. You think of,
I mean, Stan Getz,
Coltrane,
probably.
Stan Getz. You think of
Probably sold the most records, probably.
Maybe Hank Mobley in the early '60s, or Joe Henderson, or and or even Sam Rivers, or there's like so many tenor players
Wayne.
in the '60s. Wayne Shorter, obviously.
Jeez.
But then what you said about Gary Bartz was like one of the things you really liked about him is that he was kind of playing the alto the way like someone like Pharoah Sanders or John Coltrane, obviously a different style, but like he's doing that, like that powerful approach to the horn, which
Absolutely.
like alto was not associated with at that time.
Not so much. Not as much. Certainly Ornette had a lot to do with redefining the alto in that time. Everything he was doing with Don Cherry and just.
I need to get more into Ornette Coleman. I'm still. Still not.
Bro, yeah. Hip. Now he was almost like brought in a whole new language on the horn for sure. I would say that one of the next, after Bird and Cannonball, you know what I mean? Like, people to take it to another place for sure. Ornette is one of them. And I think it affected a lot of cats. Like Sonny Rollins, I feel like, it was like, what has happened? Like, what is this cat on? You know what I mean? Like, I think Ornette came onto the scene, bro. And that's 1959, right?
Right, yeah.
And really changed the game for sure. That had a profound effect on people. I think Eric Dolphy's also one of them.
Oh, of course.
I'm not sure how appreciated he was in his time, but definitely like listening to the records, it's like he had a very specific and amazing voice. And Mingus had a really great, I think, world he created that allowed Eric Dolphy's voice to fit right in to me. Same with Coltrane. You listen to like Vanguard 61 or something, you know what I mean? They're going off on impressions and Dolphy sounds perfect. But Gary Bartz is definitely one of them that I feel like it learned all of that and took it to another level. And through the 70s, even just also created music around the saxophone too that fit the times. That was like really ahead of its time, I think. Yeah, Gary Bartz is a GOAT. He wrote me the other, like maybe a few months ago.
Really?
It's crazy.
Dang.
It's crazy. I have to link up with Gary Bartz.
Oh,
I don't know when. Yeah, that's got to happen. I got to go find him.
Just send him a message like today, dude.
Yeah.
Like, later on, like you just be like,
for real. I got to go link with him.
Dude. Yeah. Is he based in New York? Or
I'm not sure where he's even based, bro. Didn't he teach at Oberlin?
Oh, maybe.
Someone's got to update me on that. I gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research. Yeah. Got to link with Gary Bartz. Got to link with the greats. Got to link with him. Me and Kenny Garrett had a really amazing conversation not that long ago. Whoa.
That's actually.
That was nuts. We got to talk.
That's actually really easy for you to do, I think.
Yeah, he was like.
At least as
when
far
he's
as
not on the road,
at least starting a conversation, he'll definitely.
Yeah. No, we talked. It was awesome.
If you want to record or make some music with him, I'm sure he'd have a conversation about that. Not that I don't know him personally, but I just feel like that just makes so much sense.
That's got to happen. I know in my head I was always like, I play the same instrument as these cats. I don't know if I'll ever get to record or work with them, but like I don't think it's that deep. I think
it's really not.
I think I got to.
If anything, that's like a plus because it doesn't happen often for them either, I imagine.
Yeah, I gotta go pull up. Dude, make that happen.
Come on.
I know.
Let's go, Brax.
Bro. Insane. Heroes, bro. That happened to you? Like
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember when Kenny Garrett followed me on Instagram and I was like, whoa, what?
That's crazy.
Dude, I think the Kenny Barron page, which he definitely does not use, that's definitely someone else. But Kenny Barron followed me one day. And again, I don't think it's actually him. I think it's like an intern because there's no way that man uses Instagram.
Dang.
But that made me laugh kind of. I was like, that's not you.
That's funny.
But no, Kenny Garrett did follow me one day and I was like, whoa, that's dope.
That is
dope.
Then
another one is Walter Smith. He's great. We'll occasionally send like really nice messages. And I'm like, dang, dude.
He's funny.
When I was in college, that was like the hippest. I mean, he's still the hippest, but like when I was in college, it was like Walter Smith was like the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. He had this one track. Remember that one? It was just called Working Title.
Yeah,
dude,
shit's hard.
Like, dude,
what a beast.
Just the
tone. I want to talk about tone.
Want to talk about tone?
Oh my God.
Walter Smith.
No, he's, bro, one of my favorite tones. Like on the he's just got a cry in his tone. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Having that cry in your sound, it's important. All my favorite horn players have that. It's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just this like yearn or whatever. It's like it's in the sound, it's in the tone. It's crazy. Honestly, great singers too. There's like a cry in the tone. It's nuts.
Definitely.
Nuts.
Definitely.
He's got that, bro. Also funny and like
dude, he's
super
funny.
like. It's like he don't give a fuck, bro. And I appreciate that energy, particularly in an art form that's like can be real snooty, you know?
Yeah.
It's great that he's just like, bro, whatever. You know what I mean? But but then also killing.
Dude, I was listening to that Twio record. It's called Twio. And it has and there's a track with like him and Joshua Redmond playing together.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my Lord.
I listen to I'll Be Seeing You on that a lot.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
dude,
Twio's hard.
Such a knockout record, man.
It's
so
kind of crazy, bro.
Dude, I saw on your Instagram also that transcription that you did a John Coltrane transcription on Two Bass Hit.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Which is so sick. Again, playing the instrument in a different. You're doing a tenor transcription on an alto, you know, playing it in a different.
Train was an alto player first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he used to play. There's like a recording somewhere.
Oh wow.
Of him playing alto. Yeah, he was sounding like Bird, but also like Train.
But
he sounds so good. Train. I think that's something about probably playing alto so much that like his range or the range he chooses to play in on the tenor. You know, it's always it's always upstairs, bro. Like in the palm keys. You know what I mean? Like. There are a lot of melodies
palm
that he
keys, dude.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of melodies he could choose to play down. You know what I mean? Like even on like if I want to talk about you. That song?
Yes. Bro. That's my tune, dude. I love that tune.
He doesn't play that in the original key. What key does he play? In a sentimental mood? I think it's D flat because it's like that's just the most melancholy key. I think it's D flat.
I thought it was D minor.
That is like that's the OG version. But the one with Duke, I think it's in another key. Y'all check me if I'm wrong, but I think
I can just look it up.
But I'm sure he could have played it down like most tenor players. But he's like,
that's what I think it would be. Am I right? Let's see. Ooh. No.
Right? Is it B flat minor? What is it?
I think maybe B flat minor.
B flat minor, right? Is this
yeah, B flat minor, yeah.
See?
Oops, that's not right.
Yes.
Barely hanging on. Exactly. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. That tenderness, bro. It's almost like it's about to break. It's the most beautiful shit ever.
Yes.
But it's also that part of the horn is hard. It's the thinner sound up there.
But it's like F.
Yeah.
He set it up so he hits an F there. Right.
But it's like he could have played it down here, but doesn't want. But doesn't. He does it all the time, and
that's an arrangement choice, knowing you're going to hit F as your top.
It's such a Train thing, and I don't know if it's because of his alto playing from before, if that's just what he hears, if it's the soprano, or if that's just the range. I don't know, but the choice to always be up there is is dope.
Like it's about to break.
It's so fire.
That's
also why I can play on the alto.
That's such a horn thing, and vocalists can do this too. But I mean, I just hear horn players do it the most, where it's like, you pick a note and you play it where it's like, where the reed you can barely keep it vibrating, you know,
exactly.
And if you move or change your breath in the slightest, it'll stop.
Yeah.
And like
right on the line.
I mean, Coltrane's probably the best at that. I would think. I don't know.
It just like sounds like vulnerability, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. The most vulnerable choice, as opposed to like I feel like an octave down would be the safer choice, but that defeats the purpose, you know. And I'm like, that shit is fire. So yeah, choices like that, and that also makes it easier to transcribe on the alto, range wise.
Yeah, dude. Also, something I'm thinking right now. Just talking about that concert E flat. Can we? Because you were talking about I want to talk about you.
Yes, bro.
And that's also the same note he hits there. That top note. I'm curious the difference in tone between the two. So this one's barely versus. So different.
Yeah. Full band versus duo with piano. I bet you it's a different amount of air even too. Or maybe tone choice is different for sure.
Yeah, just like the range of range of tone, the range of expression that he can do. Although I like the live version more. Do you know this one?
Oh, Berlin. Yeah, of course.
This is messed. Dude,
bro.
I've been doing this. I've been listening to this like every day for the last few months, bro, like nonstop.
Same. The Newport one for me is the one.
Oh, I'm not even hip to that one,
bro. It's Roy Haynes and not Elvin Jones on piano. I mean on drums. Excuse me.
That is interesting.
Insane,
dude. But he just like the way he plays on the Birdland one is it's just like he is like. Because also when he plays this stuff, he's not just playing a tune. He's expressing a thing.
Totally.
This is romantic. This is a ballad.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to hear him play a ballad where he is just burning through the whole thing, yeah. Like from end to end.
Yeah.
Like all the way through to the finish line. Mm-hmm. And then when he takes
proper power ballad,
dude, power ballad. And then when he gets to the cadenza, he plays through the whole form.
Yeah.
But there's two moments where, like, when he gets to the last chord of the bridge, it's like a dominant chord. And he plays it for a full minute. He plays like
and he just starts going off on some altered like shit.
And then he gets to the very last chord and does it again.
Yeah.
Just goes off for like a full minute on just the last chord until chord.
You're totally right.
Until finally to the end.
Bro, the sixth.
McCoy.
Whoa.
Is that a ninth jump? He's going da 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 fa fa
yeah.
fa. It's like a ninth.
What?
Dude, what are we talking about?
Yeah, what yeah, I know.
I don't even know what that is.
It sounds like a cracked note, but like on purpose.
Yeah, it's
like
nuts.
Like it's insane.
Yeah, I don't even know how he's doing that. Anyway.
Yeah, splitting the note.
You know?
No, I still don't. Like we're still trying to decode it, bro. It's wild. There's a cat who, bro, Vince Solomon, one of my homies.
Okay.
This man, I feel like he has cracked the matrix on just everything Coltrane. He's just like figured it out, you know?
Yeah. He's a tenor guy?
Yeah. He's
I don't know
beast,
him.
Bro.
Okay.
I've known him for a long time, but he's just always loved Train and just like understands everything, bro. It's like every little cadenza. I'd be like, is he playing some Coltrane change? And like, what is this? And he's like, oh yeah, he just went through the cycle like this. He can just hear it, you know?
Yeah.
His brain can break it down super quickly because he just can hear it, you know, in large chunks. You know what I'm saying? Where it sounds like I'm still not quite sure what Train's playing. He's like, oh yeah, it's just this.
Yeah, Train is, I think, the musician I would like to understand the most if I could like snap my fingers and have it all.
From talking to Ben, it seems like, a lot of that shit is just, it's worked out. Not like perfect, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, yeah, there's an insane amount of
changes, bro.
Yeah.
Just like in different matrices, you know what I mean? In different key centers and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those cadenzas, a lot of it's like Train changes, short version, long versions. Just like, it's all thought out. It's crazy. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's kind of wild.
When did your like, how should I, what's the word I want to use here? Because you have a historian, that's what I want to use. When did your like historian approach to the instrument begin? Because that's also a thing that you have. It's not just dude. I talk to a lot of musicians and I've learned that like to be a historian on the instrument is not necessary to being great. At least as far as I mean, you know, to a certain degree, it's not necessary. I think everyone should know, like, you know, the important stuff.
But in the internet age, we're finding more and more people that just know how to play.
You're going in way further than most.
Wow.
At least as far as I can.
I appreciate that. I guess I always feel like I'm always looking at people that know way more. Like we just said, like Bartley, bro, or Ben, like they go, bro. Yeah. Microscopic level, man. It's crazy. Microscopic. You know what I'm saying? It's like to another level. But I appreciate that. I think it's important. I love the music, so I go as far as like, you know, as far as I possibly can, I guess. And it's like, I still feel like there are people that know the shit way better than I do, but I think it's important for sure. And just understand, like having a love for the art, you know what I'm saying? And like carrying that in the music. Like, people always tell me like they can feel that when I play or whatever. Like, oh man, you know what I'm saying?
I would say that too. Yeah.
So I think in that way, like that stuff comes out. It doesn't feel like just some dude that loves the saxophone. It's like the music. Even when I'm not playing, even over an R&B tune or whatever I'm playing, there's still an element of like, it sounds like this dude loves jazz music or knows jazz or knows bebop or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even when I'm not even playing half the notes or half the shit I could play, it's like it's in there. So to some degree, it's almost like a method actor, maybe to some. You know what I mean? Where it's like to do a simple line. Cats do like all of this backstory and all of this work to figure out the character's motive and backstory and all that. Yeah. It's kind of like that, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. The both of us. It's like we just love the music so much that like no matter what, even if I had 8 bars to play on a hip hop tune, it's still gonna sound like some dude that like knows the shit about jazz.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Because like
there's a depth to it.
Yeah, there's a depth to it, and because sometimes it's like when people don't really dig into the music enough. Not that I can think of any particular example, but it's almost like having a funny accent. Some names, bro. It's almost like speaking English with a funny accent. Right. It's like it's English, but
yeah, what town are you from? Like, who are you actually? Yeah, right. That's always the thing.
And I think if you like,
there's no specificity.
You know, like having some really specific, really strong influences and the right influences, the good stuff. Like I remember Mulgrew Miller has a master class where he was talking to a room of music students, and you know they were presumably into more like contemporary stuff, and he was like he's asking like, who do you listen to, and they listen to some people. He goes, trumpet players. How many of you listen to Clifford Brown? How many of you? Okay, right. Okay, he's just like taking notes. He's like, how many of you listen to Blue Mitchell? How many of you have listened to Art Farmer?
Damn.
How many of you have listened to, right? He just like goes down a list, and then it gets like a little more obscure. You know, he starts getting to some like, how Kenny Dorham. How many of you listen to it, right? Right. And then he goes like, okay, tenor players. How many of you listen to Hank Mobley? How many of you listen to Dexter Gordon? How many of you have listened to Sonny Stitt? Right? He's just like going to a list like of just like horn players. Dope. And then he says, it's really important that you listen to the right stuff. Which is great because like I mean,
what do you mean by that? Or what do you think he meant by that?
Well, I think it depends on what music you're trying to play. And in that room, like Mulgrew Miller's there to talk about the music that he plays.
Right.
And so the music that he plays is that. It's all those names.
Yeah.
And more, you know, and then on piano it's, Cedar Walton, it's Oscar Peterson, it's Gene Harris, it's Phineas Newborn, it's Herbie, Kenny Barron, Barry Harris. That's the stuff that Mulgrew Miller plays. Anyway, so I think he's speaking to that. Like, you got to know your stuff for what you do, And then I think that's getting back to the point. I think that's like how you have a sound that's like, really strong. It's like, do you know your stuff? Do you know how to play your favorite stuff?
Yeah.
You got to know how to play the stuff that is meaningful to you and the type of music you want to play. I mean, it sounds very obvious, but
it does. But I'm sure he goes to schools and people don't raise their hands, and like it's happened to me before. I've done master classes, and like I'm at a jazz school at a jazz program, and people like on saxophone can't name me like a Dexter Gordon song or solo, and I'm like, you're a tenor player or something. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I'm like, that's so interesting. It's like we signed up for this. You're paying to be here.
Right.
All that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it's in every sector. My wife's a professor, and I'm sure there's students. It's like you're a politics major, and it's like you don't read the newspaper or watch the news, or like you haven't, it's stuff like that. Or it's like you don't pay attention to politics, but this is your major. It's like, so why? Yeah. Like you run into apathetic students sometimes, and that's unfortunate
or
and
just
confusing.
The goalposts are different. It's like they want to be good. I was actually talking to someone last night. I've been, I have this alternate phone number.
That's a good point, what you're about to say. But yeah, go ahead. Alternate phone number.
I have an alternate phone number where people can text me, and I'll read them and like to get back to people.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone that was saying that I was like, what kind of they were in jazz school. They were struggling a little bit, struggling to get better. And I said, and they were concerned about an audition coming up, which I always have this thought in my head of like, why are we tripping on auditions?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand you prepare for the audition, right? Like you've done a lot of competitions in your day, but
in my days,
in your day, we're old now. We're old.
That was crazy.
Sorry, did I just?
No, we're we're done.
Subtweet you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That was great. That was hard. Oh shit.
We're the same age, so I can say that.
It was funny in your day. I'm dead, but
we're the same age. I can say that.
But we have.
It's been a while since you did a competition.
For sure.
Is that
No, that is correct.
Okay,
I haven't auditioned for anything.
That's what I meant.
I know what you meant. I was just being stupid.
We are a little old, but anyway. And so what I was explaining to this person was imagine if you had someone who was already really great, like somebody who would do the best in the audition is not the person who prepares for the audition the best. Or let's pretend it was basketball. Let's pretend it was like trying out for a team. You know who do best at the tryout? LeBron James. Not the person who tried out, you don't work out for the tryout.
Yeah.
You work on the fundamentals and the music and the repertoire and the transcriptions that matter to you and the exercises, the harmony that matters to you, the rhythm, all the things that matter to you.
Sure.
And then when the audition arises, it's not like overhauling your hopes and dreams to then spend all of your effort.
Sure.
You take the month to practice it, but you don't stop your daily practice. You shouldn't waver you from the larger end goal of being a great musician.
I see exactly what you're saying.
And so that was one thing. And then I also noticed with this.
Is that true though?
Go ahead.
Are there certain things? Are there certain things? I'm finished my question. During an audition process that are specific to this particular thing, that like, all right, maybe you do need to make sure you're spending, for me, for example, 10, 15 minutes on the flute or clarinet, because on this Juilliard audition, which is different than the other schools and other things you're applying for, they want to hear you play either bossa nova on flute, or a swing air tune on clarinet, right?
I'm a little idealistic.
You are a little bit. I'll just offer a little pushback on that specific thing.
No,
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, bro, you got to shed your flute, man. For the next month until you do this audition.
Yeah, okay.
But I got you. Anyways,
right.
In general, no.
But
don't deviate your entire life plan. You should already be on this course if you want to be a jazz musician.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't be that different than the audition.
Yeah, I'm also kind of exaggerating this point because I guess what I'm talking about is more of like, if there's such a massive gap between if the audition's asking you of this many things, I'm talking about missing fundamentals altogether.
That's a good point. Okay, I know exactly what you're saying.
Because for example, dude, this is one of my favorite stories. This one, dude, oh my gosh. This is one of my students, one of my favorite students. I'll leave his name out of it, but I love this kid. But and he did great.
Yeah.
He's done great. But when he was 14 or 15, I remember I every week he would come in and I would give him a note card of things to work on.
Dope.
And then his job is to bring back the note card, give it to me, and then I'm going to be like, all right, play the things I wrote down.
Yeah.
Let's make sure you have the things on the note card. And the thing on the bottom was there for months. And he never did it. And I was like, why aren't you doing this thing? And I don't know why he never got around to the Wynton Kelly solo on Freddie Freeloader, which is which for a 14, 15-year-old playing piano, this is like the ABCs of like how to play the blues on piano. It's like so. I mean, Wynton Kelly is like just showing you how to do it. Like, you need to know how to do this, or at least be familiar with the solo. It's so iconic. Anyway, so the year goes by and it keeps on. We keep forgetting about it. And then I keep coming back to it, like, hey, you got to do this thing. And then I'll never forget, like, months and months later, it had to be like 8 or 9 months later, he comes in the lesson, and he is like in a sweat, dude. He's like freaking out.
Okay.
But
okay.
So anyway,
yeah, good. So, I'm just making sure. I'm like,
you can sing the thing.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh, dude, this is gonna lead to something else. But anyway, I gotta be concise here. I'm having trouble. The coffee is working, but
this kid
comes in sweating in a huff, and he's like, I've got this big audition next week for the high school, whatever. I really want to get in the A band, and I got to do these things. And I'm like, wait, 1 week? How much time do you have to prepare for this? He's like, I had a few months, I was like, well, okay, I guess we'll forget what I had planned. Let's do your audition now. What repertoire is it?
Oh,
and he pulls out the transcription of Freddie Freeloader.
I'm sick.
And I'm like,
I told you.
And I was like, do you know what this is? He's like, no, what is it? I'm like, this is what I've been telling you to do all year. Like,
I know how this goes,
dog.
About. Yeah.
Like
that's crazy.
If you're developing the fundamentals, then this thing, if you're listening to your teachers and doing the right stuff,
you'll be right on track.
You'll be right on track.
I'm not trying to steer you in the wrong
right
direction.
On track.
I got you, bro.
And like, if you want to be a Juilliard type wind player, for instance, you probably should have a little bit of flute already. Mm-hmm. A little bit. You should have a little bit of clarinet already. Like, you should have the other reeds on. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's already in your.
It should be, because
you shouldn't be like, oh shoot, I have a month. Let me start the.
That's
flute.
what I did, and that was crazy. It was nuts, but it's like, hopefully you played in a big band before, because that's where that would happen. That's where you'd be like, you've never played a big band.
But your being able to do that came from what?
Me being able to play in a big band.
Being able to pick up the flute to get into Juilliard came from what?
Dude, to be honest. It was literally like my teacher, really.
Yeah, your fundamentals were on lock. My fundamentals,
No, he got me together.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he did.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If your fundamentals are on lock, then you'll have the musical strength and flexibility to, like, you know what I mean?
That's what happened. You're right.
So I know I'm being idealistic, but I think that's kind of what I mean.
Bro, it's like very funny. That story's crazy.
Dude, I was
can imagine.
livid.
After a year, I told you to learn
I was
this.
livid.
It's on the note card for a year.
There was a few times where I went off on this kid.
And that's parenthood too, It's like I told you a million times, bro. I'm trying to help you. I promise you.
I'm trying to help you.
Just for it to come full circle. It's like,
yeah.
That's
you think
crazy.
I'm making this up?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I used to say to him all the time. Do you think I'm making this up? Oh my God.
Not trying to hurt you, bro. Trying to help you.
Yeah.
He would have been ahead had you started on time when I told you, and I put it on the note card.
I'm hot, bro. I'm flustered just thinking about it.
Look at me, hilarious,
dude. I've lost my composure.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because it took you back to the stress.
So I think anyway, all that to say, oh man, I took a long way around, but I think a lot of students, right, we were talking about, like, why would you be a jazz major and not know about, Dexter Gordon was your example.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I remember, so I was talking to this kid last night or a few days ago, and I was just like, do you want to be a jazz musician? He was like, oh, I'll play any kind of music as long as I'm a professional. And I'm like, I get that, but I think also you need to, like, if you're going to be playing this music, like, you kind of gotta really
let's talk about it, bro. Jazz has been a catch-all since, like, middle school.
Catch-all? What does catch-all mean?
There have been people that wanted to play jazz, me and you.
Right, sure.
And, like, at 14, we kind of knew it. And then there was, like, the church drummer and the electric bass player. They're like, well, I like Jocko, so like, or you know what I mean?
Right.
And then the keys player that's like, I'm just playing by ear. You know what I'm saying? I don't really listen to his play jazz voicings or whatever. Or maybe the classical kid that likes to improvise a little bit, but really needs to read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To feel comfortable.
Yeah, they like neo soul and they like Robert Glasper.
Or that. Yeah, exactly. It's probably more likely now these days. But I remember my high school band, it was like the classical kid, that kind of knew how to improvise, but not really. They needed the written out solo. Sometimes in the sheet music there'd be a written solo, and they would say improvise alto 1 or whatever, right? You could, but then there'd be a suggested solo. They'd always read it. They'd be like shit like that. And then you just found like, okay, wait, jazz band felt like the majority of us are like just interested in other styles of music, but we get lumped into jazz because it's not classical.
Right.
And then there are a few people here that are like, no, I actually go home and listen to jazz.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to play jazz. You know what I mean? And then it just kind of follows suit. Then they go on to the state school and they're like still in the jazz club there, and you know what I mean? And it's like, and that happens. And I come to a master class and I'm like, hey, nice to meet you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who listens to this? And no one raises their hand. I'm like, except for a few people. Hurts. And I'm like, I think that's what happens,
Yeah.
With jazz, like early. It's like everyone that's interested in any other style outside of almost classical, they end up in jazz band, but it doesn't mean that you actually listen to Coltrane records or want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing to kind of, when you got 20, maybe 30 plus kids, we're all on different pages.
Yeah. I mean, especially when music school is so expensive, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, don't spend the money on something to like sort of do it. That doesn't make any sense. Dude, think about how much money music school costs. Like, I personally have not invested that much money on anything. I mean, I went on scholarship, thankfully, but
me too, bro. Thank God.
But the amounts, it costs to go to USC, for instance, is like,
what is it now? It's probably something
$60K a year, something crazy. Yeah, if you're spending that money and you don't and you're in a jazz program, but you don't really listen to that music, that's really what it is.
That is,
it's just like, man, you gotta really love this to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
So then I'm kind of like picking these people apart a little bit and just being like, what do you listen to? Mm-hmm. And then they're listing some really cool shit.
Yeah.
But it's not like straight ahead though.
No.
So I'm like, why are you tripping about a big band rehearsal if like you are into like, Lewis Cole and Mark Juliana?
Yeah.
Which is super hit.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be tripping about that. I would be tripping about like trying to play that music if you love it. Like, don't worry about playing like, Mel Lewis, like, like do this other thing, like,
go for that.
Yeah,
go straight at it.
And then I also was like, by the way, how are your rudiments? Because I already know.
Oh yeah.
If they're having these sorts of things, then it's always gonna be the fundamentals.
Always,
right? Like for me, it's that because I didn't do Hannon until last year, bro.
Damn,
I've been getting a lot better.
That's dope.
Really fast.
Really?
Yeah, it's always been a technique issue for me.
Yeah,
always. I always avoided it. So now it's funny for me being a hypocrite and like telling these kids like, well, are you working on your fundamentals? And they're like, and every time they're like, no. I'm like, just do it.
It's the key.
Change your life.
It's the key. It's like
change your life.
Those are the lessons that still stay with me. I think about like my lessons with Ron Blake, and it's mainly about breathing. The air I put into the horn, the amount of air, the quality of air, how I'm feeling, like those things, fundamentals, embouchure, just like production of sound. You know what I mean? Like,
when did you start doing long tones?
Oh, but in the very beginning. But the intention, but like with Ron, there was an intentionality behind it. It was like, we're going to just play this E flat major concert scale, or sorry, G flat major. And he was like, it's one of the stuffier sound scales on the sax. And he's like, we're going to play that, get it to feel open, get it to feel
concert
connected.
G flat.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll play it real quick. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm thinking, so that would be like F.
My E flat.
I'm thinking A flat. E flat, sorry.
You'd be like, bro, we play that for like a whole lesson. go through it each time and work on or focus on a different aspect of sound. So one time it might be vibrato at like yeah 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 yeah. Then yeah 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 yeah, you know, and speed up the vibrato.
Oh, whoa.
Other times it would be like, all right, now this time I want you to focus on a point on the
mic.
wall.
Sorry.
Then he's like, now this time he'd be like, now I want you to focus a point on the wall. And think about focusing your air that way. And even when you're going up in the scale, don't think up. And singers tell you that too, you know, like, because you will naturally tighten up your sound. So like, you know, things like that. And like, and I'd see how that would apply to all different types of things in music. So I'd be like, okay. Yeah. And then another time he'd be like, now think about articulation this time. This is 30 minutes. We're just playing like 5 notes, you know?
Dude.
And then it's like, ta, 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 you know what I mean? And think about the attack and feel like, where you're really, you know what I'm saying? One scale. That's the whole lesson.
And then we would play all that stuff, dude.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. And there are times where I'm like, I got to go back to that shit. You know what I mean? Dude. Like if I haven't practiced in a while, I've just been like traveling and I'm playing gigs, but I'm not like practicing and things aren't feeling great. It's like, I got to go back to that shit. And that's like maybe my hand and type, you know what I mean? But it's like that. And it's like something simple musically I'm not thinking about, but it's like I'm getting more connected to my air intention, to the attack, to the release, to all the nuances,
the details,
exactly,
the details.
So then I get a piece of music and I'm like, oh yeah, this is how I want to attack it. I have options,
right,
as opposed to falling back on my like what's just feels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah
So like, I have to fine tune and come back.
Oh, that's an earthquake. That's a big one.
Oh wow,
oh Lord, that was a big jolt,
bro. Holy shit.
Are we still going? The whole house just shook. Should we go outside?
Bro, maybe. Holy shit. LA, bro.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, that was a real...
I got scared.
That was a real fucking earthquake.
That was a big one.
Bro, what?
So our house is all sideways now. Look at the carpet and all like... That was crazy.
That was intense.
You hit the fam? Were everything's chill?
Yeah, no, I don't think they experienced it. LA's so spread out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we are
she's
blocks
like,
away.
She's literally like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, okay. Never mind. House just almost crashed in on us, but it's cool.
Yeah, we almost died. It's fine. We're like a block or 2 away from the epicenter of an earthquake that just occurred.
Like, what the fuck? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, it was here in South Pasadena, so that could have been mere blocks away. Could have been under our very feet. I'll tell you what. I've experienced a lot of earthquakes in my day, and even though this one did not read high on the Richter scale, it was strong.
It was, bro.
That was one of the strongest earthquakes I've ever
bet
felt.
On camera, like that shit was shaking, bro. Like the camera was probably like, because that was crazy, bro.
I felt that house twist.
Yeah.
Like I felt the.
You said like you felt the house twerk.
I went like,
so you said
torque.
Oh, torque.
Torque. That's TORQUE. Twerk.
Oh shit.
Torque.
Got it.
I felt the house twerk is wild.
I know. I thought that's what you said. I was like, damn. She wild for that.
Why is Kiefer talking like E40 now? That's crazy. I can't wait to watch that back.
Me too.
How freaking
out? I don't think it was that serious, but you definitely knew what was happening before I did. I was like, damn, the lawnmower. It was like somebody's outside, like just like what? I was like, relax, bro. Like, dang. I was literally, because that always happens. You'd be recording and somebody's doing landscaping in LA. It's like they're always manicuring some grass or some shit. That's what I assumed. I was like, dang, somebody's cutting the grass right outside the house. And then after a while, I was like, wait, no,
dude, totally.
This is next level. But anyways, yeah. Regarding, bro, I did a masterclass out in France even, and they had such an interesting take on music because in certain countries, you know, there's like government subsidies to help to provide some stability for musicians.
Right.
So this need to be like entrepreneurial, like even in this moment, how like we got podcasts, Patreon, all this other shit that we do to help supplement our careers as musicians. It's not even a thing for some of them. They're like, bro, I don't want to do that. Like there were students like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have an Instagram. I don't want to have a TikTok. I just kind of want to make the music I want to make, you know? And at a certain amount of gigs a year, like they get into this program where like they can be, at least in France, you know, where like they'll be taken care of. They can go on vacation. They can do all this, you know what I mean? And it's like a steady kind of paycheck. And I was like, oh, that's a whole different system that like we don't have, you know? Yeah. Thusly a certain kind of like, I don't know, Yeah, just a different culture then that's built around that. This whole grind culture or whatever. You know, it's like not a thing for them.
Yeah.
And they're turned off by it, to be fair, too. They were like, I was literally like, yes, I got a Patreon. They're like, boo. No, they didn't boo, but like that was the vibe, low key. They're just like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
Here comes this American trying to do it. And I was like, nah, it ain't that deep, bro. I was like, look, it's literally just an easy way to talk to multiple people at once and disseminate information, you know, and keep it in this space, you know, so I can keep all the other channels as like my artist thing. But, you know, it was just interesting to see that, you know, in different countries. It's like, it's a whole different world, and like a lot more support from the government and different agencies and stuff that help to provide a more comfortable life for artists.
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy.
Mean, yeah, we're definitely lacking in that area. I mean, yeah, I always envied, you know, my Canadian friends that get like crazy grants to do things. I'm like, dang,
totally.
You can do that? You can just get like...
Yeah, they're like, yeah, before going on tour, I just apply for this, and then I get this and this.
Yeah, just get a pretty fat check to like just to make an album, and it's like your first one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I know.
We have to like go to a record label, dude,
and sign away our retirement, essentially. Yeah, like,
it's like
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's hard. But I think, you know, for me personally, you know, all because it's a dirty game doesn't mean that you have to, you know, do stuff that, like, I try to make money in ways that I genuinely enjoy and things that I think are genuinely useful.
No,
you
absolutely.
know, I think like what you do with your Patreon is super dope. Like, you know, you've actually used it as a way to like talk about things that you actually value.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets to do that. Not everyone does that, but or chooses to do that, but you do that. And I think that's really dope. But dude, yeah, your Patreon looks lit, dude. I got to get in there, man.
Bro, come on, sign up, man.
Dude, it's also really dope to see like a younger saxophonist doing that, because like my idea of like, you know, music lessons on the internet or like someone giving a master class is someone who's like 50 or 60.
Totally.
Whether on the internet or not, that's usually
like that it's like that chapter of your career, as opposed to like, I'm like, nah, man, I'm just like doing it kind of all at once. Like, the way I think about it is I was just trying to foster and build community, really. Just, there are people always in my comments like wondering what reed I'm playing and, you know, X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. And I'm like, let's just try and put all this and streamline things in one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we have different fans. I have fans that love my singing and love my songs, and they just want to sing along to those songs and come to shows. And then I have fans that are like musicians, and they want to be like, they see me as like, wow, somebody doing what I want to do, and how do I follow, you know, suit, and want that kind of connection. I want to learn whatever it is I'm doing or whatever I'm, you know what I mean, musically, and to just trying to have a space for them and help foster that. Yeah,
dude, super dope. Man. I'm trying to do something similar. Dude, I wanted to ask you this. I think one of your best skills as a performer, dude, you're a hell of a performer, dude.
Oh man, that's
good
too
Lord.
Kind.
Yeah, I like when I saw you play with Tom Misch. I know I told you this already, but I'm gonna say it again. When I saw you play with Tom Misch, you were the best part of the show, dude.
Damn.
I mean, I
they
love
really
Tom, but
built that up for me, though.
They really, dude. It was the whole team had it going, but dude. Thanks. The crowd was going nuts during the Braxton Cook solo, bro. I was like, what is this?
Yo.
Dude, we're at the Greek Theater. There's 6,000 people out there.
Oh, the Greek?
Yeah.
Damn.
Braxton takes a horn solo and just people go nuts, dude.
That was wild.
Going nuts.
They really they prime the canvas, though. Like, you know, I get this whole breakdown. Then the floor tom, doom, 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 like just so much drama. The light show. Tom he doesn't skimp on the lights, bro. They got their own crew bus.
Tom runs a production.
He runs a real production.
He runs
that
a
helps.
show,
you know what I'm saying? That really helps.
For sure.
But then I just get to go off. And it's like just play whatever, dude, which is so dope.
It was so explosive.
In a kind of pop show, I get to play like whatever I want.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of saxophone players that would not be able to carry that moment that way.
Oh damn.
Or people who do have the chops that you do, you know, in their own way, or people that do have the knowledge and the vocabulary and the language on the instrument, but then you're doing just like, as you put it, just playing 5 notes, dude. Like you played the hell out of 5 notes, bro.
Thanks, bro. I did. I was just playing. Was it B minor pentatonic, some shit like that, something like that.
But then you're doing it's range, it's tone, it's articulation, it's time, it's dynamics. It's like all the details of your playing, it's still equally detailed.
Wow.
And people are just going crazy, dude.
Thanks, bro.
Dude,
that's a fun tour, man.
I have the video of me. I filmed
Really?
you playing it. I was just losing my mind, dude.
I gotta hear that again.
It was so good.
Thanks, bro.
So good.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you is just like, or I guess I don't know how to ask it, so I'm just going to talk about this process of just like playing in 4, 8, and 16 bar phrases. You know, you are so good at that because like this solo, maybe it was a 16 bar solo or something.
Something like that, yeah.
But even when we played Prototype with Nate Smith the other day, which by the way,
oh man,
that's something else I wanted to talk about today. It was just that experience of that show. But like
special.
you have this solo that maybe it was we went for a while. Could have been a good 64 bars.
Oh shit.
But there was there was chapters. There was like a 16 bars and a 16 and a 16 and a 16. Mm-hmm. And then the 16s were broken up into 8s, you know?
Yeah. Okay, how I think
couplets,
about
dude.
Couplets, bro. Yeah, I think
Couplets.
about it. It's, bro, I will say I think a lot of crafting a solo, it does come for me, there are a lot of tenets of bebop that a lot of this stems from, not necessarily in the language what I'm playing, but just in how things rhyme. When I listen to bebop, when I listen to Bird or Dizzy Gillespie, or like I could listen to Salt Peanuts or shit, Dizzy's Atmosphere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the bridge, yeah, and then the bridge, different line, that alone, you know what I mean? Like the way they would think about constructing a melody over the bridge, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And these couplets,
those are couplets, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's fly, right? Call and responses, punctuation in bebop, the way it's just it flows in like an effortless kind of just like soliloquy. The structure of it just makes so much sense to me. I feel like,
totally.
You know, even though a lot of the music is at a faster pace, but when you really slow it down, it's like these are couplets and then like supported by, you know, the thesis that you've like already previously stated, and they're just like cats that I really look to and like how they phrase, and like Bird's one of those cats where it's just like it's so clear, it's so like confirmation or something. It's so perfect. Or like Kenny is like, to me, he's like one of the best at that, at just having clarity in his solos.
Kenny Garrett.
Even Kenny Garrett, even with the intensity that he solos with, it's like you listen to Triology, Night and Day or something. The way that he slows it down at first and builds the solo is like something. It's very masterful. Train also, you know, and how they utilize melody. You listen to Coltrane, Bye Bye Blackbird, and he can go all the way off, like 1958, maybe live Coltrane playing it, and just go in, you know, like the Sheets of Sound era. But then he will come out of that with the sweetest, most beautiful melody, you know?
Totally.
So I will utilize that, and I notice those are things that, even to a crowd of people that only know pop music or don't understand it, it still speaks to them.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It's like coming out of a drum solo, super wild, but then back to the pocket, and people like,
go nuts.
They're like, oh, I get it. So like things like that where I'm like, it could be super complex, but if it's like punctuated by something that's catchy, or just comes back to something that's familiar, like a pocket or like a melody, like Train does, I'm like, okay, that translates to anyone. I know, you know what I'm saying? So I'll take stuff like that, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna start with this idea, build upon it, rhyme a little bit. Then when it third chorus, you know, the third 16 or 8 bars, I'm like, now we can start going off. Now I'm going off into the drums, and I'm playing real busy, right? Then we come back home to something familiar that makes sense. Still up here at a peak, you know what I mean? Like Kenny would do, but it's like I thought about it, and it's like concluded. You know what I'm saying? Like I think of it that way, and I'm like, and it still translates, I think, to like jazz musicians, but also to like a pop crowd or something like that in that context.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? When I'm playing,
I'm shaking my head because I've heard you do all of these things that you're describing. It's you really like implement all of those things consistently every time.
Damn, thanks, bro. Like, I think about it. Like I think that's how I wanted to play, and I thought I would do it in the studio too. If I were like, all right, I get 4 choruses. This is how. This is the arc. You know. Yeah. This is the narrative. This is the story.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Being able to arc stuff. You arc stuff so well.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, dude, I really need that recording. We had a concert about 2 months ago. It was Nate Smith, the trio with myself and Cartoons, and then Brax was our special guest. And dude, I need this recording of the first set of Prototype.
Prototype went up.
Second set was great too, but the first set had that freshness that sometimes the first set or the first take will have.
Exactly.
And dude, the solo you took was so insane. I have like, you know, bits and clips that people posted the next day. And there's some moments in there that are like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
because
dude,
right. Because rehearsal, we're just like, you know, just feel it out. Nate's like, you know, it's fine. Just
right. That's Nate's whole approach. Yeah.
Right. So you're right. That first take was sick. I didn't even think I was going to sing on it, or we were just kind of like, let's feel it out, let's figure it out. It was dope.
It went nuts. The flow was great. Like as a group.
Yeah.
The flow was great. The the arc, if you will, is really good dynamically, just the way it swelled. And then I just remember like hitting when you like hit a point and you feel like that's the top, but it's actually just terracing, and then you know, and then you take it to another.
It went to another. Did it do that?
Yes, we did.
Bro, wait. I gotta listen.
100%.
Oh shit.
100%. Bro, dude. And there was also like
Send
stuff like we were locking on the same thing.
I do remember that.
There was some crazy locking, like harmonically and rhythmically. Like it was just one of those.
But dude, we smoked that. Actually, I remember that. No guitar. Like you played all the parts, man. Like.
I mean, dude.
And then Ben.
That's the thing. Nate has such a big sound. Ben has a big sound. You have a big sound. So it just sounds like more than 4 people.
And the sound engineer, what's his name?
Bro.
Right? He's him.
Bro.
What was his name again?
I forget.
I know, he was cool. He works for Alabama Shakes, right? Or Brittany Howard.
Yeah. He works for Brittany Howard. He does really, he's dialed.
Right?
That man was dialed.
That shit felt great.
I think that's the best Soladrum has sounded.
Yeah, because I was like,
it was
that shit felt like an album or something. I was like, this is crazy.
On stage, it felt good. Even, which is like, I'm always like, how are they? Whatever.
It's always like a lot of time it's 2 different experiences. I'll say that.
That
it's like, the stage sound is good, and then you listen back and it's dope.
It was going crazy in there, dude.
That was special, man. So yeah, that was.
And they filmed it. I know they filmed it and recorded it. I'm like, bro, where's that video?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
I need that video.
Me too.
Brax exploded.
Oh man.
You exploded. Shit. You exploded, bro. Sorry. What? Chill,
man. Chill, bro.
But no, you went off, bro. It was awesome. It was so dope.
Bro, I appreciate it. It was fun, man. That was just like that was a special moment for sure. But like, I don't know, with regard to like the phrasing again, the storytelling, bro, I think you do the same shit.
I try to, yeah. I try to.
Also, you know,
because
I love
I'm not
that
the
you
most
do.
technical guy, so that's like what I've been focused on this whole time.
But you know what you also do, bro, that I want to work on, but I feel like as a wind player, it's sometimes even harder because as you get more into it, your air gets affected. So then, like, I feel like the feel changes a bit. Is getting excited, and that affecting all types of things, the tone, the choices you're gonna make. You being able to reach this high note that, you know what I mean? Because the adrenaline, all the hormones, all the shit literally happening in the moment, where I'm like, when we're getting to that part in the solo, like following through and keeping it like at that same level of clarity. Yeah. You got that, bro.
Oh, dude,
which is so dope. I remember seeing your trio. Well, we toured, rather, not seeing your trio. We toured. We did a double bill tour.
Yeah.
That seeing y'all every night though was like sick, you know? Tightest plays hella loud. Luke plays super loud.
Luke plays very loud.
And you're like just with him, bro, and not getting caught up. You know what I'm saying? And not losing your. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to do that.
I think about that a lot. Just like what my body is doing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I can usually tell. Oh man, there's a lot of things, but yeah, one thing I can tell like pretty early on in the day. Usually, like so even during sound check, sometimes I can tell if I'm hearing time differently than the day before. Like, you ever listen to a song you made, like a beat you made?
Yes, when I'm tired.
And then the next day you'll be like, oh, damn, this is like a lot slower than I thought. Or this is a lot faster than I thought. I need to slow this shit down. Like,
yep.
Your perception of time changes. And I think that's evidence of that. You know, even if I'm caffeinated, like my chemistry of my brain changes. If I drink caffeine, then I listen to music, or if I play music, then I listen to it later. I'll be like, oh wow, I was playing so fast. Well, yeah, I was caffeinated. Damn. Some days you speak much faster.
Absolutely.
I think today I'm speaking pretty fast.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
If you listen to me talking to Paul, the Paul Cornish episode, I think I was speaking a lot slower. But I think so. Then same thing with like playing. So sometimes I'll just notice like, ooh, this tempo feels slow today. That means I'm actually like processing things a little bit faster. So, and sometimes that's a good thing. those are kind of the days I like. I like when things feel slow, because then that means I'm like processing really quickly.
That's dope.
And if it's not the case, if I listen to like, usually when I'm low on sleep, if I'm touring and I'm jet lagged, and I'll listen to like, you know, just like a regular hip hop tempo. Like I'll listen to like Pete Rock or something, and it's something that's 90 beats per minute. Yeah, 90 BPM, but it feels fast. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
I need to like warm up my brain. So then I'll probably like listen to a lot of drum and bass, and I'll like beatbox to it, and I'll go like, and I'll just like practice like speaking rhythms, and then I usually like literally like picking up, like warming up my processing speed. I'm telling you, this is a thing I believe. Someone needs to study it.
That's genius.
Well, it might be crazy, but
it might be crazy.
But
that's awesome.
Here's something that's a little more practical. That's like, I think more you can definitely prove, which is just like how I move my body determines like how I feel the time. So for example, if I'm tapping my foot to quarter notes, that's gonna be different than if I tap it to eighth notes. Totally. So if we're going like, you know, if the tempo is like, if I tap eighth notes, like, or rather quarter notes, let's start with eighth notes. If I'm going like, which I'll do sometimes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bigger one on the quarter notes, but I'll let it bounce.
Accented. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
If I'm doing that, I'm going to end up playing on top. I'm going to play like really on top because I'm just hearing it a little differently.
Got it.
And then if I want to go looser, I'll just do the quarter notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't move at all. Sometimes I don't move my feet at all.
Gotcha.
Which, especially if I'm like rushing a lot, or if I'm like playing too rigidly and I want to be more loose, then I'll like stop, because then that kind of sometimes like locks me in too much to the grid.
Whoa.
So that's what I've been thinking about. It's like what my body does, and then also like when do I bob my head? When do I just like? I sometimes like to move side to side.
Damn.
You know, sometimes I stay totally still. But like I just like, yeah, I just kind of evaluate, not in like an obsessive way, but just thinking like, you know, what my body is doing to like how I play, because all those things do very different things. So you can, if you are watching me and you're into that sort of thing, you can watch what my foot's doing, because I'm very intentional with that stuff. But
you've given that a lot of like thought.
So if I'm for example, if I'm like lagging, like if I play a song like Why Not, I'm always going to tap eighth notes, because I want to be really on top of the beat with Nate on that one, because that's more of like a funky thing.
If you're playing like,
that's quarter notes.
You hear? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
here.
I would never go. I'm not trying to hear that.
Nah, no one wants to hear that.
Especially if it's swung, because that's a swung eighth note.
Because you put it behind the beat, bro.
Yeah. I would never do this.
Gotcha.
Also, that's a swung eighth note.
Totally.
So I'm not gonna go ga ga ga, because it's dum dum ka.
Totally. It's swinging for sure. Okay, got it. That's dope.
So yeah, I'm doing quarter notes for that, or not at all. Sometimes I don't pat my foot at all.
But you maintain this during the solo is what I'm saying.
Eighth notes, you know,
you don't lose this completely. You don't lose yourself completely to the moment, I felt.
No, and that also helps too. Just like think about like how my body's moving, and then I try to move it in the way that the music is, you know, even if it's a simple thing. Like if you like in my Tiny Desk, you can watch like when we play Superhero, when Nate starts like really going in, I start moving like this, because it's just like a way for me to like I don't know, just like try to catch a wave. I don't know, like if he starts rushing, or if he's behind and I want to like feel that too, I'll start moving my body that way. I don't know if that makes it's hard to explain,
it's
but
genius.
It's just a way for me to listen. It's just like, it's also just like my body's providing feedback to how I'm listening. And if I tell myself, hey, if something interesting happens, move your body, and move it in a way that it think about how it means, and then move your body that way. Well, then that's forcing myself to listen to how things mean and how they, you know what I'm saying? So
it makes sense.
It's almost I don't know. It's like it's just a way for me to like listen more too.
Super self-aware.
And but yeah, I think and then like not getting excited. That's something a few years ago I used to be really bad at.
Yeah.
I get really fired up. Really excited. Heart rate going up.
It's like, oh,
and
this
you start
is
rushing.
Yes, bro.
And you start rushing. So yeah, a few years ago I would think about that, and so a few years ago,
even rushing your ideas.
I started like sitting. There was a period where I sat very still and I didn't move at all, because moving used to make me like get too amped up.
Yeah.
So there was a time where I was like very still. I've always experimented with this.
Okay.
But I think now where I am, and also I also set up the set so that I play the easy stuff first.
Okay.
I always play the easy stuff first, so I can warm up. Smart. Sometimes if you play a tough tune off rip for me, I can be too fired up.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm nervous, if you mix being nervous with being really emotionally, it's like I'm just gonna fucking like I could totally get carried away.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I save superhero for like 70% of the way through the set, because that solo is gonna go really big every time.
Got it.
That's like the biggest solo I take usually. So even though that's a really easy tune, but I'll wait until like 70% of the set where I'm like comfortable. I'm like chilling. I'm in there.
That's so interesting.
So then when I get worked up and I start like playing like really like, you know, out stuff or whatever, I'm not carried away because it's like I'm comfortable.
Okay, that's genius.
But yeah, there's all
that's one
things.
way of putting a set together. Like I always learn from Christian, maybe just by watching him. Like he would just start the set like fucking like here, bro.
Oh yeah,
with intensity.
That's a big vibe,
which is a big vibe and a very trumpet player-esque thing to do.
Vibe.
You know, it's like, let's start with a fucking banger, you know what I mean? As opposed to easing into the set. And I was like, all right, that's cool. So I like
playing a banger, but I play an easy banger. I'll play like Tube Socks or like something that's like super easy
right,
to play.
knocks, but it's not technically crazy. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense.
But he's a much more technically gifted musician than me. So like, that's another thing too, is just like, you know.
But that just makes sense. Like, as far as your endocrine and like all of that shit, like it makes sense why like, you ease into the set, and that way, like when you get to the end, it's like you're not burnt out. You didn't peak, you know, too early or do anything too crazy, and then like you can just kind of still stay connected to the music and not completely just like lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's smart.
Yeah,
it's kind of controlling it.
Yeah, I think the best musicians get really detailed about every single aspect of the music and with regards to like what their taste and what their abilities are, what their strengths are. Like, dude. If I go to see a Christian Scott show and he opens with, you know, a banger, that's kind of what I want to see.
That's true.
He's going to
it's part of his artistry. No, it
burn
is.
shit to the ground immediately, which is like, I love that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't see myself as being like that technically, that type of a player. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I got to like, you know what I'm saying? I work myself into the show, and then before you know it, things are getting, you know, we get into the weeds.
Yeah, you just got it curtailed to kind of fit you.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's dope.
Totally, yeah.
And Christian's show, I think, fits him. But, like, yeah, no, but as far as me putting a set together, I'm like, I've tried to start sets out. I'm on the notier side.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, let them know. Particularly because I play and sing.
On the tour we did together, the Black Mona Lisa tour, what was the...
What
was the one you would open with?
I think No Doubt, bro. Like, we always
Yeah, it was fast. It was like a drum and bass tempo almost.
There's like an intro, there's that.
Yeah.
But like the first song, it was like, I think No Doubt, it's like typically the first joint we start with. It's like probably one of my notier songs.
Sing it again. No Doubt. Oh, yeah.
That joint.
Dude.
There's that.
Yeah. Dude, we need to get Pinson in here to talk some shit, bro.
Dude, he just called me. I'm gonna hit him back in a second.
Bro, Paul
Pinson
Cornish
is so funny.
was telling me that we were just talking about how Pinson gives the best hot takes, dude.
He does.
And he always says low key and then gives an insane
and then goes
hot
insane,
take.
Bro. Yeah, no, we've had this conversation actually. This is all like kind of off the back of that. We just played a show with Javi Santiago, who's also an OG. He's I shouldn't say OG, but like he's part of our generation who's a beast, and he was like
younger than us, isn't he? Isn't he a little younger?
34, I think he's my age.
He's older.
Yeah,
he looks younger.
Yeah, he's a beast and a beast on trumpet.
I need to get my shit
I just
together,
can't grow
dude.
beard, man. That's all, bro. But but like, yeah, he was putting music out in 2015, 2016. Also on our same shit where we were just like we were putting out EPs and putting out music
Javi is a bad
independently at a time when no one was really doing that shit in jazz. And
dude,
he's
you're
awesome.
Such a pioneer, dude.
You are, dude.
Doing that first record with Butcher Brown, that was in 2015, dude.
We were on some shit, bro.
That was in 2015.
We were on some shit.
And then somewhere in between 2017.
Yeah, exactly.
The remix record, which I was thankfully a part of.
Thank God. Bro, remember when you lost the session?
I lost it.
Yeah, I was like, bro, can I get the Sims?
I literally had just the WAV file bounce of the whole thing.
That shit was funny.
Dude.
That was great. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, man, that was so awesome to be a part of that. Because that record is kind of... It's more than kind of. That's iconic.
It was dope, bro.
That's a classic.
We dropped a classic.
That is a classic. Yeah,
appreciate that.
Somewhere in between is a classic, and the remix record also is a classic.
It's special time, bro. Special time.
The record cover is great. The
thanks, man.
The cast list on there is great, dude. But then the Butcher Brown record, dude. Like we're talking about early stuff. We're talking about early Braxton Cook is fire.
Thank you, man.
Like you
it was just an energy we were on, though. You know, it was like everybody.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think for me, DJ Harrison is the
right.
He is actually the architect.
The GOAT. He's the architect.
I was talking about this with Paul Cornish the other day too. He's kind of the architect because, well, actually, we talked about it, but not on the pod. This was like after it turned off. Yeah. Anyway, but he's what we were saying about DJ Harrison was like, if you and I occupy that space, although you sing as well, so you have another dimension as well. But just speaking to the beats plus instrumental playing and like improvising over like beats, like I got that from DJ Harrison.
Yeah.
Because he was doing that in like 08, 09.
Yep.
And it's different from what Robert Glasper was doing. Because what Robert Glasper was doing was stuff that was much more live. And then on the beat side, he would have like, more produced sounding stuff.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the beat maker in the way that Devon is like
a beat maker.
Beat maker, bro. Like one of the GOATs.
Executing at a high clip.
Yeah.
High clip, bro.
A guy that like someone like Pete Rock and DJ Premier and Madlib admire.
Yeah.
That's different.
It is different.
So to then make music with that kind of beat making, and you're working with Devon, because
of Corey, who by the way, would just keep telling me all the time while I'm on tour. We're on tour with Christian Scott, and me and Corey are roommates, and he's like all the time, bro, just like, bro, Devon, you got to meet this nigga Devon. You got to meet Devon. I was like, you're right, I do need to meet him, bro.
He's the GOAT.
He's like, bro, just bring some tunes and like we'll just do a date.
He's the architect of that whole thing.
Yeah, I was still in school, bro.
Yeah. So
2014
all
or some
the
shit.
Instrumental like beat maker kids that are doing it now, people like Telemachus or Vu or even JD Beck and Domi or who else am I thinking?
He laid the blueprint for sure.
Cartoons has changed it into something else. Now he's doing more soul music, but definitely. But yeah, like the beat maker, instrumentalist combo, musician like archetype, like he created that. And then I also think about Thundercat as well. But again, like Thundercat's, it's more, he's singing and songwriting, but then there's like also a more live element. But I also think about Thundercat as well. But yeah, Devon's the architect for me. For that, it's just like, dude, he's kind of the OG of that shit.
And Butcher Brown as a whole, like they were just on
also,
this.
I should say Flylo, Austin Peralta, of course.
Wow.
But Devon's right in there too. And like, anyway, he's my biggest influence is DJ Harrison, dude.
I get it. He's him.
He's him.
Dude,
I'll say that without hesitation.
Straight up, bro.
I'm having him on here.
We got to do part 2. Oh, good.
Yeah, Devon's coming in next week. I'm trying to lock in Devin Morrison.
Oh, good. Dev,
I got Mind Design, bro.
Yeah.
Dennis Ham.
Okay.
And then maybe you don't know Dennis Ham. He's insane keyboard player.
Okay.
Jahari Stampley, bro.
Oh, good.
We're trying to lock that in. Good. I need that.
He's great.
Dude, he's one of the greatest pianists on the planet right now.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I have
what
a
spirit.
guest list.
What a spirit.
I haven't met him yet. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Like, he just plays so spirited.
Yeah.
I met Jahari. He's awesome.
Dude, yeah. So I have quite a guest list, and you're right in there, dude.
Dog, that's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Dude,
bro,
kidding?
Of course. Let's do it. We got to do it again.
Dude.
That's awesome.
Hey, man. This is round 2. We could do round 3 anytime.
Let's get it.
Hey, guys. I think this is the longest I've talked to someone. We went off, dude.
Bro, we did. The earthquake really there was a reset. That's why.
The earthquake rocked us, bro. We were so scared. I got to see that video.
Yeah, you got to go back to
that. That's iconic.
Probably an hour in or something. That was insane.
Yeah, that was insane.
But we're good. We're safe. We're alive.
We're safe.
It was great.
Hell yeah, still breathing, still doing it,
exactly.
Still
here, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an honor to have Braxton Cook on yet another episode of Approachable Music.
Let's go.
Talking about the horn, talking about making records, talking about touring and all kinds of other things. Brax, I love you. I appreciate you, man. Let's do it again sometime.
I'm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the comfort of your own home, please make some noise for Braxton Cook.